are they, there are communities that sometimes have to raise their taxes just to put money in the fund balance, and that seems to be a horrible way to do business. And you were commenting before we went on air, particularly in light of the way, it's certainly a model that differs from our federal government model. And so far, $9 trillion in debt, and unfortunately, in the city, or fortunately, in the city of Statesville, we don't get to print this.
Yeah, money out of thin air.
So.
Well, we're here with the mayor. Our phone numbers are 873-1400. Our Davie County number is 336-499-0681. If you'd like to call in and ask the mayor a question today, you have that opportunity. And I wanted to ask you, having done this show and talked with the citizens, I know everyone is concerned with illegal immigration and its many negative effects. Do states will have an illegal immigration problem, and if so, what are we doing to fix it?
I don't. It has never been expressed to me that we have an illegal immigration problem. There are, are there probably undocumented workers throughout the city and throughout the county? I would imagine so, but I see that problem directly falling on the employers of those persons who need to be, I think, held accountable for the situation. But I'm not aware of that particular problem in the city of Statesville.
We have reported on the D.C. gun ban and the upcoming Supreme Court ruling, and I know a lot of people that listen to this program are pro-gun rights, and I just wanted to ask you if you supported the rights of a person to bear arms and your opinion of the Second Amendment.
Well, I don't. I do support a person's right to bear arms in support of the Second Amendment. Beyond that, I don't really have much of an opinion on that, except that to the extent I'm called to enforce the laws of the United States, I would honor those. But as I was telling you guys beforehand, my role as mayor of Statesville was primarily in local issues, and the response to national and international issues is simply to honor what the United States courts and the courts of North Carolina have determined to be the law of the land at that time, and that my role as mayor is to primarily make sure that, for instance, your friend on Highway 21 gets his panhandling issues resolved, and that we're able to have fuel for our vehicles, and that your garbage gets picked up on the day that it's supposed to be picked up, and that you have sanitary water to drink and a sanitary sewer system to dispose of your waste. So I don't really have the time or the inclination at this point in my life to absorb myself in the national and international issues. So on most of those, probably my answer would be the same. I feel a responsibility as a citizen of our country to honor the law of the land, particularly as a lawyer. I'm an officer of the court, and whatever the Supreme Court of the United States has said, and until it changes, I guess that's the law.
We got a phone call from the mayor. Are you with us today?
Very good. How are you doing?
Doing good. You got a question you'd like to ask the mayor?
I'd just like to make a statement. Just think the mayor is one of the best things that's ever happened to Statesville in a long time. I think he's doing a great job. Sometimes they get a lot of flack, but I think he's doing a wonderful job, and I hope he continues doing it.
Okay, well, we appreciate you calling in. Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
Yeah, you call back. I'll stay here all day if you keep calling back.
All right, I'll call back tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting in touch with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, on a lighter note, me and Brian had talked about this. If the city of Washington can legislate away our Second Amendment rights, if the Supreme Court upholds the D.C. gun ban law, can we have the city of Statesville abolish the 16th Amendment and quit paying federal income tax?
No, but I want to tell you a good D.C. story.
Okay.
If you consider that right, I can really make it right. I was walking on the street the other day. My law office is only about a block and a half from City Hall. And so I'm back and forth quite a bit. And I had a nice lady smiling, stopped me, "Mayor, how you doing today? How you doing?" And just having a nice conversation, and she said, "Do you know how many steps it is from your law office to City Hall?" I said, "No, ma'am. Why would I know that?" She said, "Well, you're up and down this street so much that you ought to know." And I thought to myself, well, I need to just take a minute and see if I can measure that off. The problem is, I get stopped virtually every time by somebody to talk, either just to say hello, or maybe they got something on their mind or whatever. But I did measure it, and then I saw the same lady later, and I found out the lady was from D.C. and she said, "I moved down here a couple of years ago." She said, "It's just surprising to me. It was surprising to me to come to a place like Statesboro. The first thing I heard was my cousin worked somewhere, and she worked with you on a project, and this, that, and the other." And she said, "I would never in my wildest dreams think of having any kind of personal interaction with the mayor of Washington, D.C." So that's a great thing about a place like Statesboro, and I'm sure Marksville too, where the mayor and the city council members and the county commissioners and all those people are just average folks that you go to the grocery store with, and you go to church with, and you interact with. So it's I guess I've never paid quite as much attention to that as I should, but that's a really energizing and uplifting part of the job, because the people, well, like the caller's comment, that's all it takes to get you through the next day, really, because you do get a lot of it takes a lot of work, and particularly, and I've told them that the city council has been through so much the last month with this public hearing that we had on the location of the asphalt plant here. Just worked 4 additional nights until midnight, for $500, $600 a month. So I mean, it's not a thankless job. It's a very fulfilling job, but it's a time-consuming job and a cumbersome job sometimes. So it is nice to have words of encouragement from time to time.
Definitely. Do you think we're headed for a recession?
I think we must be in one. Yes, and I hope we'll shake out of it. I'm not so sophisticated, but it just appears to me that the new United States is a different United States than we knew in terms of, there'll be manufacturing, but it's going to be information technology type manufacturing. It's not necessarily going to be weaving knit shirts or whatever we've thought about historically. But we have proven to be a resilient country and a entrepreneurial and ingenious country. And we'll come back, and I just hope that we'll come back with jobs that are as financially rewarding as the ones that we've given up. That's my fear right now, is that maybe we've crunched some of that down, and then not that the standard of living couldn't suffer a little bit and we'd still be okay, but we've gotten accustomed to maybe a standard of living that will be difficult to maintain. But I think we'll be okay. But we have to deal with the situation that we find ourselves in, and that's what our city council did this year. It was extremely difficult with rising fuel costs and rising everything else costs to keep the tax rate in check. But we just made a commitment that this is not the time for taxes even consider being raised, because people are suffering. And so we held the line, and we'll be able to make it just fine. But I think people have to remember that in the same way your budget is, your belt has to have been tightened, and the family budget for any of our families has changed as a result of rising costs. The same thing has